Good afternoon, drumming friends. It's me, Rob, here from drumstheword.com, bringing you another free video drum lesson. Then we take a look at a song that's a bit of a classic. You may have heard of it before, Dancing Queen by ABBA. I want to take a look at the main groove of the song. What I've done is I've described how the actual beat sounds on the recording, how it was put together, and I've given you some variations if you find the original beat a little bit too difficult, or some ideas of how you can expand it. You can download the free PDF from my website. I'm also giving you free two links to two videos on YouTube that I recommend you listen to or watch, only about a minute long each, and they describe the process of putting the original drum parts together, which is quite exciting. Okay, let's crack on with the first part. So the link for those two videos are beneath this video. Check them out, because in those videos they show you how the drum part here on the recording is actually made up of 3 individual tracks recorded. There are 2 percussion tracks over the top. You've got a tambourine part and a shaker, giving that the 16th effect. And then the drum part itself consists of the bass drum part, which is just simply bass drum being played on all 4 beats of the bar. 1, 2, that's a separate drum track that was recorded, lasting 3.5 minutes. Then you've got just the open hi-hat part, so the hi-hat is opening and closing, or opening on the ands of each beat and closing on the down beats. 1 and 2 and 3. The classic sort of disco hi-hat pattern. Then the final part is the hi-hat and snare drum part being played, or the snare drum part, the extra snare drum note, and then the extra open hi-hat part at the end of the bar, which we'll go over in a second. So the third track is this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 4 1 2 3 and 4 and 1. And that's basically it. So all 3 parts together, you get 2 hi-hat parts, as well as, and on the third track I just described to you, you've got the open hi-hat note occurring at the end of the bar as well. So when you listen to the recording, you can hear like a quiet going on through the beat, and then that last open hi-hat is louder and sounds like it's being played on a different hi-hat, because it probably was. So you got this effect where you got the hi-hat opening and closing, and then that really nice accented hi-hat at the end being a different sound, standing out from the track because it was recorded separately and probably on separate hi-hats. So let's go to the actual drum beat itself, and this is how I recommend you try and replicate that sound. This is the version I play if I was playing along with a band with this song. So we've got the same bass drum part occurring. We've got a 2-bar pattern. So I've given you the main drum beat that repeats all the time, and then that little signature variation on the snare drum that occurs every 4 bars or 8 bars, or depending on what part of the song you're in. The basic drum beat is your classic disco drum beat. 4 on the floor, hi-hat playing 8th notes, snare drum on 2 and 4, 1, 2, 3. So play the bass drum and the snare drum together on 2 and 4. And then you're just opening and closing the hi-hat on the ands. 1 and 2 and. So if you take a look at my feet, for example, my feet are doing this. You can see my hi-hat's opening and then closing at the same time as I hit the bass drum. There we go. So yeah, that's just a simple movement where your feet are coming up and down like that. I recommend you keep your hi-hat foot heel down. It's good technique. Don't lift your leg like that too much. Some drummers do, but I think to control the hi-hat better, you need to be able to have your heel down. And then the bass drum, use your normal technique, whether you heel down or heel up, depending on how you play. So that's the first bar. The second bar has a signature part in it. So it's the same pattern. Start off with 1 and 2 and 3. But on the E of 3, so in between where the hi-hat is closed and the next time it opens, we get a snare drum note falling in between the hi-hats. Right, left, right. Closed, open. And it opens after the snare drum. 3, E and 4. It then closes into a snare drum on beat 4. 3, E and 4 and 3, E and 4. The bass drum falls with the snare drum on beat 4. So we get 3, E and 4. And then we get an extra bass drum note on the and a beat 4, where we get that extra accented hi-hat note, the one that sounds different. 3, E and 4 and 1. 3, E and 4 and 1. So it might take a little bit of coordination to start off with. You can perhaps just leave out the open hi-hat to start off with and just try to get the basic pattern. 1 and 2 and 3, E and 4 and 1. Notice we've got 3 bass drum notes in a row. 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Then you can try adding in the hi-hat over the top. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And to replicate that sound, perhaps you want to try, if you can do this, hit the hi-hat slightly louder on that and a beat 4 to give that hi-hat sound a different feel, a harder feel. So slowly those two bars together, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, let's now take a look at another variation. Okay, so this next variation demonstrates a way that most drummers tend to play this beat. Instead of playing the hi-hat on all 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, depending how advanced you are as a drummer, you might have practiced beats where you just play on the ands, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and for this kind of upbeat disco hi-hat feel, you don't really have to feel the downbeat on the hi-hat. You need to hear that and, that one, ch, ch, ch. So you just tend to play, or most drummers just tend to play, including myself, on the and only. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So you're not playing, but just on the ands instead. Very, very subtle thing. It's more of a comfortable thing, a comfort thing. A drummer might find it more comfortable to play it that way. The listener isn't really going to hear the difference, but again, it's just another way of playing it. So the bass drum, snare drum, open hi-hat pattern exactly the same, except you're just playing on the ands. So the two bars will sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, with the 4 and 1 still happening underneath. And that's when we get to the 3 E ands, 3 E and. We get a linear pattern there. We get bass on the 3, followed by that snare drum on the E, followed by the right hand on the ands. So you might want to loop that and make that feel comfortable. Without the open hi-hat to keep it simple, and then adding the open hi-hat in afterwards. Lovely bit of coordination there that you might want to practice on its own, because this kind of beat is very, very common, very, very popular, very, very simple to play once you've got it, and you'll find loads and loads of uses for it elsewhere in music. So have a go at this, even if you don't want to play along to the song, Dancing Queen. Really worth having a go at trying to get this comfortable. Alrighty, let's have a look at the final variation. So just taking the simplicity even further with this one, we're playing exactly the same as variation 1, except we're not opening the hi-hats now. And we're just opening the hi-hat on the and a beat 4 at the end of the second bar to give that special open hi-hat note its uniqueness. So you're not hearing open hi-hats all the way through. You're only hearing that special hi-hat on the and a beat 4. And I'm also taking out the bass drum notes on beats 2 and 4 of each bar. So you're not playing with the snare drum on beats 2 and 4. So just making it really, really simple. Here's what that would sound like slowly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and second bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then that open hi-hat on the and a 4 and 1 closes on its own. The bass drum closes, sorry, the hi-hat closes on its own on beat 1. There's no hi-hat being played on the 1 there. So slowly again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Accidentally played the bass drum 1, 2, 3 and 4 there, see if you spotted that. So let me try and play what I've written on the page now, take out those two bass drum notes. Of course you could play it with it. So there you go, so you've got 3 variations. This is the one that they play on, the one that you want to hear on the recording. But you've got other ideas that you could try as well. And if you're playing with a band with percussionists or a tambourine or a shaker, you've got more options as to what you play with the hi-hat to replicate that sound on the recording. So there you go, hope you found that fun and useful. Download the free PDF, come visit my website, check out my lessons. Thank you very much for watching this video and for your support. Please make sure you share and subscribe and like and all the good stuff, all the social networking stuff that helps to grow my business, to help me to do more of these lessons for you guys. So until next time, toodle the pip and happy drumming to you.